All right, 5 o'clock on a Monday. Let's do this. Let's hit the books, part of the Hammer Betting Network, alongside the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Joey Knish, producer extraordinaire Zach Phillips. I'm merely Brad Powers. Before we recap Army Navy, Heisman Trophy, and talk a little bit maybe transfer portal and whatnot, coaching changes, and obviously talk about the upcoming 41 bowl games. Before we get to all that and all your questions and comments, let me remind you guys that Hit the Books is brought to you by BetStamp. BetStamp is the easiest way to improve as a sports bettor. And the easiest way to do that is to use multiple sports books and always get the best odds. We recommend using an odds comparison tool like BetStamp. BetStamp compares odds across every sports book for games, futures, and player props. You can save time and money by checking BetStamp before you bet. Download the app today. If you're looking to sign up for a new sportsbook account, please check out the offers available at betstamp.app/hitthebooks, or you can hit the link in the description. If you sign up through this page, it does help support the show. Knish, how was your weekend, my man?
It was pretty good. But I think Sunday was a little bit of a rough one, depending on which team you root for. But
your betting had to go well on Sunday.
I would say the Lions result did not go well. The betting went okay.
Did that surprise you though? I thought the Bears were a sharp side.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were on Chicago. I had some Chicago myself. Don't tell anybody. But I guess I'm a little surprised at the how it played out in terms of the delta between. And I mean, this is 2 games, 2 out of 3 games, divisional games where you kind of not got blown out, but didn't really have a chance in the first. So not a great look. Hopefully they can get it together because the defense is falling apart, and now Goff kind of gone up there, and it looks like even talking Lions here got us disconnected for a second. But I think the question everybody's looking for is how was the general powers? Army Navy. Did it live up to the hype?
Yeah. I mean, it was really good. I recommend it for anybody that likes college football. It was colder than I thought. I mean, they're expecting. There was no clouds expected. It was nothing but clouds and then no rain, and it started to mist and drizzle and no wind. And there was some wind. So other than that, it was good. And obviously, you got some excitement at down the stretch. Final 5 minutes was very good. Obviously, the caliber of athletes different than other games, but obviously you're not going to see, great football. You're going to see, the tradition and the pageantry. I mean, the helicopters flying over and all that stuff. I mean, all of it was great. So I enjoyed it. The travel was a lot for me. I'm not a big travel guy. I spent like 12 hours in an airport yesterday. So I was a little grumpy.
Yeah. It's no, I'm the same way. The traveling process. It's nice going place. The actual process drives me up a wall. So yeah, I feel you there. I think we both had a little bit of Army. So the result was okay there. We talked about it on the show. My old man was in the Army, so we watched the game together. He always roots on the Army. So enjoyed it in terms of obviously it's not the highest, as you said, level of play, but overall, I'm usually on the at the small airport, but overall, decent game, and we get into it. Had a lot of bowl movement, a lot of bowl, a lot of portal stuff. So excited to get into it.
Yeah, let me say one thing about the game. Obviously, I thought Army was the right side. Obviously, played out that way, despite Navy trying to come back in the end. I will say, as far as the total, I don't care what you bet. Yeah, at worst, you should have pushed. Nobody that bet the over or the under should have lost that result, because in the 24 hours leading up to the game and game day, you could have bet over 27.5. You could have bet under 28.5. And if you were lazy, you could have at least got 28 in a push there. So I know everyone's screaming bad beat, this and that. I mean, anybody that watched that game could have, I guess, said bad beat, but I can see all sides do it, to be honest with you. I mean, Navy gets stopped. They got 1st and goal at 7. You expect them to score a touchdown. They had the 2-point conversion that failed. So them getting the last 2 points, I was happy because I bet the over, but I thought it was a little bit deserved after how that went down. They did throw. Navy threw 29 times. I know they were trying to play from behind there at the end, but I felt like they should have thrown it 49 times. I mean, they gave them that one out pattern all game long.
Yeah,
7 yards. I don't know why they didn't throw it every play until they stopped it. But
I agree. I thought Army was significant. I mean, if you took like a Navy teaser or something like that, we talked about people asking about that, and I think you should feel fortunate. I think Army was significantly better in this year's matchup, especially on offense. Navy offense was bad.
I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't really. What do you think in terms of Navy's coach? His name's escaping me. In terms of his future,
Newberry.
Yeah.
A lot of for game 12. So many. I mean, I'm there. So much clock mismanagement. It was unbelievable. There was one, they had to take a timeout right before the end of the third quarter. They thought the third quarter clock was going to run out.
Yeah.
And obviously they were like not a second off, 7 or 8 seconds off. I was watching the Navy quarterback. He was like motioning sidelines. We're like, we got to go. And they didn't even signal a play in. Took a timeout. They could have used that 40 seconds at the end. To say the least, but I don't like the Navy coach to say the least. And then Jeff Monken, obviously, has been there, done that. He has the edge moving forward in that one. We'll see. Army going to the keep in mind Army going to the AAC, so we'll see how that works out for them. Let's get to the comments. Oh, you know what? Heisman, I forgot about that. Heisman, how'd that end up for you?
Yeah, I mean, decent result there was on. I know you scored some. I had some along with the tailgate tent there. I kind of had a decent amount of exposure. We talked about a few weeks ago where like we had all the guys up at the top, but I had spread. It wasn't like I went ham on Daniels, and I didn't add any throughout the season. So the preseason position, it was nice to cash that, but I didn't. For the majority of the year, just because of LSU losses, I didn't think he was going to win. So it's kind of a lot of guys eliminating themselves. I don't know. It was. I just think kind of a lot of the elite guys we thought would be in there kind of petered out at the end. And just he kind of got it. I don't want to say by default, but by having kind of a Lamar Jackson-esque, statistical season. So, but it's not one of those classic Heisman seasons that I'll remember.
When has there been a lot of classic Heisman seasons in the last 15 years? I don't know.
I don't know. People with the stat padding against the lower opponents and stuff like that. So, I don't know. It was, but I would have loved to see, Penix win that game and then get it, but he played so poorly over the last 5 weeks. It's like, I don't know. Maybe if Washington was on the East Coast, he wins it. But
good point.
I'm surprised.
I don't know if he deserved it. He was not good for half the season.
I know it's fair. Were you surprised that Nick still got so much? They really, and it was. We had talked about the cannibalization, but it was more significant than I thought in terms of how much that vote was split.
No, I wasn't stunned by that. I mean, I think he was going to win the Heisman had he performed well and Oregon beat Washington. I think Nick would have won. So, I don't know. Not the result didn't surprise me. If you had asked me before the Heisman, I thought it 1, 2, 3. The separation a little bit, but I don't know. Kind of a ho hum. I want some money. Not and for those, because I don't know, I stopped reading the negative comments. When you win, he bet other ones. Well, no shit, I bet other guys. So that wasn't a complete win. I mean, it was, whatever. I don't know what to say there, but a little nice winner. But I will say moving forward, the template is there. If you're betting it, quarterback award, usually on a contender. I know this year it was on a 3-loss team, but if they're on a 3-loss type of team, you need a dual threat guy like a RG3, a Tebow, a Daniels, a guy that's going to put up, 15, 20 rushing touchdowns, 1,000 rushing yards type of thing. So if you want to do that on a non-contender, you got to keep that in mind. And then don't bet the favorite. Caleb Williams didn't repeat. So don't be afraid to bet 20-1, guys. So that's my little soap opera box there moving forward. If you want to bet the Heisman, you're going to have to compete with me because that's a formula I use every spring. Let's get to the chat. Charles, always first in line here. 10:58 for him. How about that? Misleading score in Montana with returns in South Dakota with weather looking to take out North Dakota State and South Dakota State in the semis. What about you guys? Ooh,
Well,
North
I
Dakota
don't.
State, I think, is the right side. The coach leaving concerns me a little bit.
Yeah, that was a
Although
shocker.
what? Yeah. Although their coaches have left before and they've stayed with the team and they've won national championships, so there's a precedent there. South Dakota State's probably a little expensive. I get it. I haven't bet either one yet. Haven't. FanDuel has them up. I see. Shit. I 1.5 looks a little light to me.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, obviously, I don't. I think he's. I don't think San Diego State is in trouble this week by any means. But I agree the price is a little high there. Villanova had a really nice. That was one of the ones I turned into a really nice gameplay. I thought they gave a great effort there. And just kind of the talent won out at the end of that one. But overall, that was one of the games I enjoyed. I tell you, this would have been a kind of a Montana lean all seat, but man, the Bison seem to have I mean, the coach leaving, as you said,
Yeah.
but they probably had their best performance of the season in last week's game, just burying South Dakota. So I don't know. That one, I think is more of a watch and enjoy.
Yeah. No, when I said I lean North Dakota State, I mean, I don't know, pizza bet. So if you're gonna steam it, it's not lock of the century. I'll put it that way. I don't know if I'll have much. I've been doing well. FCS, I'm not sure I'll have much in those two semi games. We'll see. Let the market open up a little bit, and let's check the weather. Obviously, in both games. Fabulous one in the chat. Cure Bowl. Can Miami Ohio D make up for not having a first or second string quarterback, or does under 46 look like the better option? I would say under for me. That's where I'm at. I had bet both sides to the game. Just news dependent. First, I was leaning Miami Ohio. News breaks. I bet App State under for me. Have you bet this game?
I agree with. I have a little bit of App State just on the original news, but you know what? Like, I don't think Miami, Ohio's, formula that they used all season was really very QB dependent.
Good point.
So it's like and again, I'm not totally familiar with what we're gonna get from this. Basically the third string bag. It could be a disaster. But
Smith was a disaster in the MAC title game. They still won.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I mean, like I'm not sure how much just the team formula, the QB matters as much. But on the other side of things, I think you got an App State team that kind of peaked towards the end of the season, has more talent. But I agree. If anything, it would be the under at 45.5 or 46 in terms of play for me right now.
Agree. Fabulous one in the chat. Florida A&M at under a TD a play. Yeah, I would lean that way. That's not widely available. That's all I'll say there. Yeah, Florida A&M game. Let's let that one open up a little bit. But yeah, they're the better team there. FanDuel has it. Caesars has it. I'm just looking. That's a little cheap. Any opinion?
I don't. I got to be honest with you. That one's a little in the weeds for me.
Okay. Yeah.
I can give you takes on the two playoff games. The old what's the name of that bowl? The
Celebration Bowl, I think. Yeah, Celebration Bowl.
I won't be celebrating.
SWAC versus MEAC. Florida A&M is legit. D-Lee 23. What was the steam on UCLA about today? Do we still like Texas Tech -2.5? Thanks, legends. The steam was all about a guy. You take some fabric, you get some plastic, and you start, punching them down, and you try to raise it up into a formation like this. If you guys get that, or if you don't get that part of it, you drop. These are in pickup trucks, and you drop them down. That's the first letter. For those that don't get that, tailgate tent released UCLA. Mainly about Boise State. Taylor Green's probably not going to play. That's what that's about.
Yeah,
right?
I think, and you know what? To go a little bit like deeper and just in a bowl strategy, that's one of those portals where he's already picked a school, so he's gone. He's out. He's out. He's in Arkansas. I think you have a number of games where, especially the G5 games, QB jumps in the portal. Who knows if he doesn't get any, offer, or it doesn't get, he might jump back and play in the game.
Where did he go to? I missed it.
Well, just know that Green went to Arkansas.
Oh, good pickup. I missed that. See, that's why you can't leave the screen.
For
an Army Navy trip.
And then so that way, he's not playing. It's going to be QB3. I worry a little bit. UCLA towards the end of the season. I don't some of the the DC. I think some of their defensive players, especially last year, might opt out in this game too. So I
Under.
wouldn't chase it now. I can see playing it under 3. I would not play it now.
What about under the total?
I would agree with that much more than the side now.
Yeah, at the current numbers, I would go under. I'm indifferent on the side. I've seen both. I've seen people bet Boise. I've seen people bet UCLA. I bet both sides. News dependent. Uh, Under for me. Charles in the chat. Any transfer quarterback news? Bet Online has markets up for them. Low limits. Chandler Rogers, a great get for your Bears. Now, my Bears this year. I don't know if they'll be my Bears moving forward. They're not my Bears this weekend. I can tell you that. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked at the Bet Online has some.
I just pulled that up. Yeah, I didn't see these markets. That's pretty cool of them to have up. I'm sure what is it high limits, but nobody else is going to post that stuff.
I'll have to take a look at them. I'll report back. Well, no, they usually take them down, especially if someone like me bets them. So I'll take a look sometime during the show and see if there's something there. Let me bet them.
I mean, number one, I'll do the Dante Moore market. Maybe it's more. Do not bet Michigan State as the favorite there.
Agree.
I think they're going to get the Childs kid from Oregon State, and that's the one they're focusing on. So if I would, to be honest with you, I don't think outside of Michigan, I wouldn't say he goes to any of those places. Also, Michigan is the favorite for DeQuan Finn. I don't even think they've spoken to DeQuan Finn, and I would not expect him to go there. So,
Charles, we love you. We love our viewers. I'm guessing there's a couple $100 to make in those markets. I did not know those were up. Interesting. Yeah, some of them probably aren't priced right. I knew one. I think last one of those I cast was like Marcus Freeman be the Notre Dame coach, and he was like plus money, and I was like, this is 99%. So he was plus money. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, they got Cam Ward on here. Ohio State the favorite. I don't know. I feel like he's the one.
I think Ohio State might be the favorite there. I think Riley Leonard and Notre Dame is going to get announced here in a couple hours. Trying to think of the other ones. Dylan Gabriel to Oregon didn't surprise me. I was hearing whispers of that. DJU is down to Florida State and another school, I think. Is there anything else there?
DJU, McCall, and Will Howard.
McCall, I'm hearing to what the hell school is that?
It was NC State's jockey.
NC State. Yep, that's right.
And then I have not heard anything on Will Howard. Texas A&M is the favorite, but I don't.
Yeah, because it's OC, but I didn't hear that.
I didn't. I see the.
I'm gonna have to study it a little bit. I can't make cross country trips. It was tough. You feel like you get behind, but yeah. Some of that seems all right. Yeah, NC State. I think that's where McCall is going to, but I don't know, man. Injury history. I've heard not all up there. Definitely benefited from an offensive guy and Jamie Chadwell. I don't know if I'm a big McCall guy. Mr. Bebop Blue. I like that. Bebop Blue. Can you explain why everyone seems collectively so confident that Bama will be favored at kickoff? If true, why would the books allow so much action on Bama plus 1.5? Well, I'll tell you, there's not much action probably right now, to be honest with you. Market's been dead for a week for the most part. Honestly, market had been dead for 5 or 6 days until this morning. And then a bunch of people released some stuff. But, I mean, it was totally dead for a while there. So I don't know how much action they're actually getting on Bama. I don't know. You just anticipate public's going to bet Bama. Do you think they close favorite? I think so.
Don't give a pass about number 10.
I think, honestly, I think so as well. Not, a significant favorite, but it's for this game, you're going to get the highest limits. You're going to have, the biggest trading groups waiting until further down when, get close to the game when, you can get 6 figures down on this is when you'll see kind of the end moves. There's not really, it's in kind of a dead zone here of 1.5, pick 1.5. It might be 1.5 the other way. So,
and if you miss a little bit of the Alabama move, you're not worrying too much.
Yeah.
This is the type of game you probably get 7 figures on a game like this, with it being a semifinal, 2 name brands, as big of a game as this is. Yeah, so they're just waiting. And that's what some of the release was today. Markets, being, out there for, a little liquid being out 7 days. Then you start they're opening up a little bit more. That's why I saw some movement today. Yeah, I think Alabama's the right side. But we'll see. I'm not, rewatching the Georgia game, I'm not totally confident in Alabama. I thought they were a little fortunate there, Alabama. I don't even think Georgia played that well. Brett in the chat, how do you quantify motivational levels for bowl games? Do you guys see any good motivational spots for any particular teams? Well, I mean, it's very tough to quantify motivation. I guess the best way to quantify it is just, let's start looking at opt-outs. Easiest way is your quarterback out. Well, how much do you value the quarterback to the point spread? And other key guys. I'm not saying I got a point value for every single player in college football, but you kind of get an idea from the main guys what they're worth a half point for this running back or whatnot. Your 2 tackles are out or whatnot. Cluster opt-outs at a position group is worth a point type of stuff. So I guess that's where it's honestly the transfer portal has made it easy to quantify motivation because then guys are out. So let's quantify who's out and not playing. So I guess that's where I'm at. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think one thing particularly we look for is especially the quarterback. It feels like, kind of as most teams, the leader of the team, if he opts out or isn't going to go for something, that's usually the signal that either some other guys are opting out or the team might check out. It doesn't happen all the time, but Ohio State was one that we talked about, getting on Missouri early because if McCord opts out, you've got a bunch of other guys that can opt out where it seems like, okay, now the team might check out on the game, or even if the guys that are playing are engaged, they're going to be missing, X amount of guys. So I agree. I think it's a little bit more quantifiable now just in terms of, being able to put a number on who's playing or not. But at the same time, you don't want to bet just on there. You might be able to see some clips or some coaching staff leaves or all that. But again, I'd say case by case.
Always case by case. I'll say this. I mean, you want to get out in front of it. I mean, if a team has an interim coach, more likely to have opt-outs than a team with a regular coach. Look at the NFL draft. Look at the guys that are going to go in the first or second round. I mean, guys likely to opt out if it's not the semifinals. So you don't have to be, Einstein to figure some of this out. Although a lot of this stuff's been steamed. Matt and Sarah Welsh. North Dakota State, South Dakota State, and Frisco is a lock. North Dakota State minus 6.5 was a steal on Saturday. Heard from former South Dakota players leading up that the feel around the game was very negative. Where was that? Where was those comments last week? I did that.
Say, Matt, if I'll give him that. We didn't do a Friday show, so but you could have hit up the DMs with the locks, but I
bet North Dakota State though.
That was a burial. So we said probably North Dakota's best performance of the season, and just a game that was over from the jump. So I mean they're rolling at the right time.
Yeah, they are. And even the Montana State win on the road was a big win that they got in overtime the week before. They're still going to be a sizable underdog to South Dakota State. Did you know South Dakota State's beat them, I think, 5 in a row?
Is it 5 now?
5, I think, in a row. Unbelievable.
I was talking with a couple of my FCS guys, like, how can you keep – I don't think you'll ever see a North Dakota State run at the FCS level ever again because of how many guys you're going to lose in the portal. I don't know how you keep an elite FCS program at that level anymore. Because guys are already we're like 6 guys have 6-figure offers already, on their team. So it just seems like it's going to get poached all the time. So
I'd enjoy this South Dakota State run. I think if they finish the deal, that'll be 29 wins in a row or something like that since they lost to Iowa. I mean, I'd enjoy that. I don't think we see something like that again because all their guys came back, even with the coaching change. Guy retired. 20 starters back. So. Enjoy it while you can. I'm anxious to see if those Dakota schools and the Montana schools eventually make the leap, all at once. Those 4 schools.
Yeah, or just jump into the make a
the Mountain West becomes a super conference.
Yeah.
So Montana and some of those schools have some money. You don't pop on a Montana game and see how many people are at the game and stuff. There's some. I don't know if you watch a show called Yellowstone. There's some money in that state now. So. Anxious to see what happens for the future. FCS football, though, quality is not as good as what it was. Austin in the chat, Thoughts on the Sun Belt? No Hartman. Oregon State torn apart. Even the kicker hit the portal today. Maybe under. Yeah, I lean under. I know tailgates on Oregon State. I bet Oregon State. I don't know if I could do it now. I mean, they have been. I just think Notre Dame's backups are going to be better than Oregon State's backups. So I don't know. Tough game to bet right now.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those. I mean, we talked about in the original bowl show that's just kind of been beat up. The under now. I mean, it's really gotten down there. So gun to my head, I'd still take Oregon State.
There you go. Best bet.
I wish we would have got on earlier today, but
we should have. Yeah, we should have.
I'd still lean the Beavs. I think this even probably goes a little lower.
I can see it closing a little lower. Although they keep getting guys opted out. I don't know who they got left. So I'll tell you, the Angeli kid that's going to start for Notre Dame, he'll go out and probably throw 3 or 4 picks after me saying this, but I kind of like the kid. I don't think it's that big of a downgrade from Hartman. I wasn't impressed with Hartman that much. So we'll see what happens there. I know Estime is going to be, I agree with you. It's going to go lower because Joe Alt hasn't announced yet. He won't be playing. Estime is not going to play for Notre Dame. I do like their backups at running back. Tackle, they'll miss Joe Alt. They're going to miss Joe Alt. Guy S in the chat. Welcome back, guys. Bama over 45.5 and Missouri minus 2.5. I lean both ways there. A lot of people like the under in the Alabama-Michigan game. I'm not one of them. Missouri, yeah, sure, minus 2.5. Where are you at there?
The only thing I would say on the Missouri is probably now the numbers move so much you can kind of wait to obviously McCord's out, but the majority of the Ohio State guys that we think are not going to play haven't officially announced yet. So it's one of those now. It's moved so much. I would just wait. I assume
wait to bet Missouri or wait to bet Ohio State because once all them guys announce, the Don Best board. They don't know anything.
You're right. Yeah, I agree with you. If it's I don't think it should be even. I think most of it's baked in now, but you'll probably you'll get the trading steam no matter what when it's announced.
Yes. So my recommendation is I don't think it should move hardly at all. I don't think there's much value on Missouri right now at 2.5. However, if you want to bet Ohio State, just wait until that news hits the board that Marvin Harrison's gonna opt out. You'll probably get a 3. You might even get a 3.5 if you're looking at the board right when that hits. So, but yeah, I think all those guys likely not playing, the 2 defensive ends and all that is more than baked into this number. Agree. Guy asked in the chat, Wyoming minus 2.5. Seems like everybody is on them. Can you still get a 2.5? Did Raz give them out today? I saw all those 2.5s got wiped out this morning. It sucks because I didn't give out Wyoming.
Yeah, it looks like all 3s now, and I agree. I mean, I liked Wyoming in this game to start, and then now that Finn and it's the Cowboy Swan song for Craig Bowl going off into the sunset. So yeah,
best bet at 3 or money line.
I think let's put minus 150 on the money line there.
Yeah, they just win. Let's just have them win the game. We'll do it, Zach. Best bet minus 150. I'm okay with that. They win the game.
I just think it's such a you've got Jason Candle, backup quarterback, Wyoming. I don't think. I mean, I haven't seen many opt out or any of that stuff for Wyoming.
No,
so and they don't seem like so. Yeah, it just seems like it seems like a nice side to pick the winner on the.
There you guys go. First best bet. You had to wait 30 minutes, but there you go. Best bet Wyoming minus 150 money line. I think that might even go up more. Wyoming will travel well too for this one. I watched them play and they've had good crowds there in Tucson. This is like their 3rd time there in the last 5 years. Mark S. Looks like Diego Pavia is going to play New Mexico State minus 3.5 versus Fresno State. It's a little rich, but that's the side that I bet in this game. Fresno State, no Tedford. Man, they didn't look great down the stretch, obviously. How can you fade Jerry Kill at this point? I mean, it's just excellent coaching. I mean, they just don't miss a beat. I mean, Pavia gets hurt. You think, oh my God, they're dead. And next thing you know, their backup's throwing it down the field. They don't give an F. I mean, this team it's impressive. So yeah, how can you fade New Mexico State in the New Mexico Bowl? They'll have the crowd edge.
Yeah, I mean, I'd still lean that way at 3.5. Obviously, we've been in on this one, but I just perfect coach to have for a bowl game kill in terms of motivation. Will
Yeah.
keep you guys focused. Obviously, Pavia, like when you have your leader who's going out there. My only, and you say even if Pavia can't make it through the game, you got the backup who look pretty good. So I'd still lean that way. Fresno could definitely be a no show, and to be honest with you, I didn't think Fresno was all that good this year to begin with.
They were good at the start, and then that last half was just, oof. Ever since the Wyoming game broke them, to say the least. And they were unbeaten heading into Wyoming. And after that game, very average team. How to win in the chat? Any thoughts on Liberty plus 18.5? I see Oregon got hit pretty good. I mean, everyone. I told you last week. I think everyone's going to play for Oregon, or at least a lot of these guys are. I bet Oregon. Would I bet them now at 18.5? No. Do you bet Liberty now? I'm not there yet. I would need like a 20-21 to bet Liberty.
Yeah, I think you know what, and we talked about it. I think I'll play Liberty at some point. Gonna see if it steams up a little more though.
I thought Salter might entertain.
Yeah, no, that is a very good point. I definitely wait on Liberty due to that factor. Now Liberty's actually got money, so he might. But yeah, no, but I totally agree there. Good look by you you got to wait on that one because if he's out, then
They have no shot.
Yeah, then you might get 28.5.
We'll see what happens there. Charles Saul in the chat, Clemson, Kentucky. Kentucky took some money today. Do you know who's behind that? I was kind of surprised. The board started lighting up this morning. I'm like, oh, okay, we're going on a Monday. Was that Raz?
And to be honest,
I thought it was before the Raz release.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was them or not. I don't really love it though. I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't played back on Clemson yet, but it's in consideration.
All right. Guy S in the chat. Rutgers still good at +1. Oh, we gave them out last week, aren't they? You had a whole week to get Rutgers. It's right there on the BetStamp app. Then we give out Rutgers +3. We do know what we're doing. I mean, the results haven't been good. We gave it a 3.5 for Pete's sake.
Yeah, right. You can at least tell your guys at the water cooler you got the best number. We might have to pay them with the result, but they got the number here. Yeah, I mean, Miami, Van Dyke obviously out. Colby, their best receiver out. Miami going up to play in a baseball stadium in the middle of December.
Yeah. Love Rutgers win, so yeah, it's still good. It's just watch the show. I mean, you had all week to now. Did you have all week to get 3.5? No, you guys watching live pretty much took care of that. And then I think Blue Horseshoe followed it up and gave out 3. And then it was sitting 2.5 for most of the week. So, but yeah, I wouldn't be a bit surprised Rutgers closes a short favorite, not 3, but if Rutgers flips to 1 or so, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, there you go. We can get you CLV, which is supposed to be their correlation with winning long term. This season didn't work out. Guy S in the chat, San Jose State up to -10. Thoughts? I pass at 10. Anything under 10, I lay San Jose State.
Yeah, that's getting rich now.
Vasco's going to start for Coastal.
Yeah.
Guest and McCall are out, but the Vasco kid started some games and looked okay. San Jose State's got a couple of opt-outs, but Cordero, keep in mind, Cordero played there at Hawaii. So kind of a homecoming for him at San Jose State there. Obviously, they're red hot. Although I will say, typically you want teams that cover 4 or 5 games to close this season are typically play against in the bowl season. Opposite of that, teams that, failed to cover their last 4 or 5 games of the regular season, you want to play on them. It just gets expensive to play on or against those teams. So if you want to do it early. If you want to keep riding the wave on those teams' momentum, but or lack thereof, but to play it on game day, don't do it. You're paying premiums.
Agreed.
Guy S he's loading up the chat here. -8, 2.5, -8.5. Too much on Iowa State now. Yeah, it's a little expensive. I think they're the right side though. I really do. I don't like this Memphis team. Don't like the coach. I think Iowa State's pretty locked in. They'll have It's played at the Liberty Bowl. Here's a hot take. Iowa State will have more fans than Memphis, the home team.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I'd still lean even the last Coastal was at a point where, to be honest, I'd be looking the other way if it got any higher. This is one I'd still lean Iowa State. I agree with everything you said on Memphis. And I don't think that one's one in Memphis doesn't matter. So I think Iowa State could put it on them here.
Mr. Bebop Blue again. Penn State -3.5. Public power rings have them by over a touchdown. Ole Miss is banged up. I lean that way. I know you disagreed. I think a little bit. I think I sent out over to you. We did bet the over. Penn State -3.5 would be the lean, but Chop Robinson's out. We'll see who else is out for Penn State. But interesting matchup, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree. And Ole Miss banged up. I guess
Did you see that? I got to look into that.
I didn't. So I'm not sure. I thought Ole Miss had majority of their guys going in this one. So I haven't.
Yeah, I didn't see anything big there. So I got to look into that. Hell, you leave for a few days and you feel like you missed 2 weeks. Anything else that I missed? Coaching wise, transfer portal wise, anything that stood out to you? Any best bets still left? We got to give out one more, maybe.
Yeah, I know. It's really slim. As you said, there wasn't too much movement on the board until
this morning. And then I'm like, you know what? I got 5-6 plays that are worth betting. And then all 5 or 6 of them got wiped the hell out. I mean, I was responsible for one. What'd you think? The old tout service gave out NC State +3.5. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, I think that'd be the lean on the side there for me too.
Kansas State's got a lot more opt-outs than I anticipated. We'll see. I like the Avery Johnson kid, but I don't think he could throw yet.
Where are you on? I mean, Texas A&M. I know we talked about this game has had probably the most opt-outs of any.
I like Oklahoma State. Tout service gave out Oklahoma State. I think Oklahoma State wins.
I think I'm with you. I'm with you now. It feels like
They got a skeleton crew. Now that Elijah Robinson guy took the job at Syracuse, he's going to stay in coaching. But keep in mind, Petrino's off to Arkansas.
Yeah.
I mean, several starters out. Gundy is an experienced coach. He wants to win, man. He doesn't want to go out on a losing streak.
Yeah.
In the season.
QB3 for A&M because Max Johnson was in the portal. So, I think plus.
You want to give that out? A 3 is good still.
I think +3 still play.
Yeah, I like it. Oklahoma State +3. Like that play a lot. That is part of the old tout service. So, I think Oklahoma State wins. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Wyoming we hit. That was one today that moved. I thought we were going to be giving it out at 2.5 on today's show. It just moved this morning. There's a lot of news. Keep in mind, folks, we're just getting started. We still got a Friday show. Then we finally start into games. I'm looking to see if there's anything early on in the process. What do you think of Old Dominion, Western Kentucky? We didn't get asked this one. I think ODU's the play. Does it go to 3?
I would lean that. I mean, it's crossed over from so obviously but I still think under 3. I don't think Western Kentucky is any good.
No, statistically they're not all season.
Yeah, so I kind of they just kind of got their wins against some really really bad CUSA teams. So I still think ODU under 3 is okay there.
Looking here.
Your boy Sam Jackson gone from Cal. I saw he hopped in the portal.
Hey, should they got their guy? Chandler Rogers. That's a good pickup. I don't know who's running their portal. They got to have some data guys behind the scenes because I mean one of the major reasons why I like Cal this whole season was like, man, they got some portal guys that you guys don't know, and these guys are good freaking players. So. No, that Chandler Rogers would be fine there. I didn't even look who they get as OC to replace Spatful or whatever the hell.
I did not see yet. Charles asked a few McCord Nebraska opinions and Manny Diaz Duke opinions.
Wow. Yeah, I've heard McCord and Julian Fleming there.
Yeah. They were out at a bar or something around there. But I mean, listen. I think it's a big upgrade over what they had. And I'm not a Kyle McCord truther, but you go last year, we were playing a tight end for half the season, and the Step Purdy brother and the corpse of Jeff Sims. So yeah, and Fleming, you know what? He's a decent college player. So I think that'd be a good get for them.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a good move for the players, though. I don't like their OC at
No,
Nebraska.
I agree. I wouldn't, but I
He's
don't know.
terrible.
I'm not sure what McCord's got as far as options. Manny Diaz, when you're at Duke, you hit a home run like Elko, it's gonna get poached, and so unless I don't know, I think it's okay. I think it'll be it's just a tough place to keep it rolling.
What'd you think of? I thought it was a really good hire for Tulane getting Summerall from Troy.
Oh, great. I don't know how they pulled that. I'm surprised he took. It doesn't seem like a huge bump to me. I feel like
it wasn't pay, like a couple $1 million. That's how much Tulane's paying.
Yeah, the money talks. So yeah, I mean, that's a great get for them. And a guy I'm surprised. I could have seen him taking a even higher level, Power 5 job at some point, and maybe still will. But yeah, that was.
I thought if Stoops would have went to A&M, he would have been Kentucky's coach because he came from Kentucky. Yeah, so
and Troy in back-to-back years, you lose your DC, and now so that's going to be tough to rebound from there in a Sun Belt that's a lot deeper now.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks for that play because I thought Troy was a slam dunk play against Duke and the Bulls. Now, I don't know. We're losing Summerall so late in the process. I'm kind of indifferent. But Duke is one team that has lost a shit ton of guys to the portal.
Yeah.
Manny Diaz, okay. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's terrible. He's not as good as Elko, though. I can tell you that. Cover it, 5. Okay, Kentucky was Raz. Connor, will North Carolina ever get to 6 or 7? Could, once he officially look, it's already baked in that Drake May is not going to play. But once that hits the Don Best screen, yeah, I would assume it gets to 6 or 7 there. Lean West Virginia, that's the right side. Connor also, K-State to play if they get under a field goal. No, not for me. I like NC State. I like NC State outright. I think it's important for them to get the 10 wins. That defense against Avery Johnson, I think it's going to give them some problems.
Yeah, and as you said, it was some more K-State guys than I thought, or you'd think.
Their best edge guy, their top cornerback, their OC's gone.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously Will Howard's gone. That's a lot. I thought that program was buttoned up a little more. NC State's got some guys in the portal too, but just a little bit less impact guys.
Yep.
AR Tucci in the chat, South Florida plus 145. Yeah, that's a good point. He brings up money line. I think with a lot of these short dogs, I mean, obviously variance is way higher in bowl games than the regular season. So if you're betting these short dogs, you're doing yourself a disservice not playing a little money line, at least splitting your bet up a little bit.
I agree with the play, and I know Syracuse.
You want to give that one out?
Yeah, I agree. I like I'd like South Florida in the game. I don't know what you're going to see from Syracuse. I feel like they were kind of a program on the rise, has a little bit more together. I don't know what you're going to get.
About 3.5s out there. Let's do 3.5 minus 115.
Yeah, I'm with it.
All right, another best bet. See, guys, it pays to stay with us for the show. We don't always do it on purpose, but yeah, we try to get you some best bets. We thank you guys for staying throughout. Is there anything else? That was good. We ended up getting 3 or 4 out now.
I'm just betting some South Florida as we speak myself here.
Yeah, that's one thing you got to watch. Sometimes you got to watch what you say on this show. If you didn't bet yourself,
I was gonna say I did. It was one best for you. But I was like, I noticed there. Didn't know there were a couple 3.5s out there. So yeah, I like or money line there. Add a little. I like that side quite a bit. I just Syracuse is one that I would be surprised if they showed up there.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope they show up a little bit offensively. I like the over. Any opinion? I obviously like South Florida too. Any opinion? Georgia Tech UCF. I wanted to bet the over. It was a lot more expensive than I thought. So I didn't play much. Both teams very high variance. I don't know. I kind of want to lean Georgia Tech, but over was my preference.
Yeah, I don't actually have a dollar on this. One of the rare ball game. I don't have money on side or total. Agree with you in terms of.
I don't either. I'm just looking. I don't either. It's probably one of 5 bowl games. I don't have nothing.
Yeah, so
it should be one of the better ones if both teams come to play. Should be back and forth. Should be enjoyable, evenly matched relatively. Kind of under the radar. Yeah, a little bit of money. I think it was as high as 6. I mean, that would have been a take on Georgia Tech, but I'd be in a -3 lay 3 situation. Again, I was hoping to get like a total, like a 59, 60-ish. Just came way high.
Yep.
I don't have anything else. I mean, sorry, kind of meandering a little bit, but I don't know. Maybe I'm off my game a little bit. Not that I had much.
No, I mean, listen, we baked in what we could as far as the game, just same slate of games, and hopefully keep it up on the the transfer portal news and some of the coaching stuff. But a lot of the portal stuff is guys in there, so not decision points. So I we'll have a little bit more once guys are actually picking a place to play.
Yeah, and multitude of reasons. Now, as we get closer to these games, we'll have more answers. Obviously, when we do the Friday show coming up Friday at 5, make sure you're tuning into that one. We'll see some more moves in the marketplace. We got a shit ton of Saturday games. We'll have the market more opened up on the FCS games. I'll be more comfortable giving some better answers there. I want to get down personally. Another thing, you mentioned the transfer portal. We'll have some decisions. And then we don't get decisions. Hey, these guys that have decided to, hit the portal might actually be back with their team. So you got to be careful with that. That happens more frequent than what you think. So we'll have more answers on the Friday show. But I think let's just recap the best bets of what we've given out so far in the bowl season. I'm pretty happy with the portfolio, although I've been happy all year with it. I didn't know we had Rutgers 3.5. That's really good. Look at that, 17.3% CLV. Man, I wish we could. They got the cash out. I wish we had cash out options on the bet stamp. Cash out. Oh, take the profit. So Texas Tech -2.5. Some concern. I will mention some wideouts have opted out for Texas Tech. I still think they're the play. I'm still comfortable with the bet, but they did have a few more opt-outs than I anticipated on that one. You got similar thoughts there?
Yeah, it'd still be the side for me. Obviously, it hasn't moved much, but still lean Texas Tech there.
And then obviously Rutgers, and then South Florida was today +3.5. Make sure you get that. That's going to close. I would not be a bit surprised it closes under 3. Oklahoma State +3. I could see that one closing pick 'em, especially if the portal stuff gets completely announced for A&M. Rutgers love it. And then Wyoming, we decided to do money line there. They win the game for the final game for Craig Bowl. That'll do it for the man, the myth, the legend himself, Joey Knish. For producer extraordinaire Zach Phillips, I'm merely Brad Powers. For all the show updates, make sure you're following at Hit the Books HQ and at the Hammer HQ on Twitter and X. Easy enough for me to say. And for all you guys that took part in the comments and watched live or watching on delay, thank you so much. We'll talk to you Friday at 5.